Hello, Teacher Rae here. Are you ready for the tutorial and slight demo of the Magic Star Reward Game? Level 2. Let's go! Ooh, hold on a moment. Have you watched the video for preparing to set up the Magic Star Reward Game? If not, pause this video, go back to my channel and look for the video titled Magic Star Reward Game Prep. Watch that and then come back and watch this, okay? If you've already seen it, then you're all set. Just keep watching. To set up the Magic Star Reward Game, we start on the template page. Never edit the template page. Well, I shouldn't say never. I mean, you can move this or this to where it's easier for you to find them or whatever. Or to just keep it higher up on your list because see now it's saved to change. So now it's going to be higher in my drive, easier to find. What we do is file, make a copy, and name it for the lesson that you're creating the game for. We'll do level 2 for this one. So Coco the cat is a level 2 lesson. And I have my notes for that one right here. Okay, this will save it to your drive. Notice it opens a new window for the new Google Slides. And here is Coco the cat. You will notice that your template game is still here. It's separate, untouched, perfect, ready to use for the next lesson. So, Coco the cat. You start with our words. Type in your words. Coco the cat has 3 keywords. Most level 2 lessons have 3 keywords or vocabulary words, phrases. This lesson has left, right, and middle. Now for the 4th word, it's up to you. You can use it as a review word from a previous lesson, or you can keep an eye out when you're previewing your lesson material and use a new word from the lesson that you think they may have difficulty with pronunciation. Let's go with, let's see, Coco the cat. And then let's just go with cat because it's, I'm only showing you how to do this. Okay. Again, for that 4th word, it's better to use a review word from a previous lesson or another word from this lesson that you feel they may have difficulty with. Go to the slide over here on the sliding bar, right mouse click, duplicate slide. Go to the new slide, click all 4 words, arrange, rotate, flip horizontally. You now have 2 different slides. Yay! Duplicate the 2nd slide. Go in and move some of the words around. I usually just switch corner to corner. Quick, easy. Okay. Now duplicate again and rotate. Rotate. You now have 4 different slides. They all have the same words, but the words are in different places, so the students don't get used to the position and just memorize where the word is. Now, take these slides, the title slide, all 4 words, word slides, sorry, and get them out of the way. Drag them all the way down here to the bottom and just tuck them down here so they're not in the way. Thank you. Now to set up the game for a level 2 class. Level 2, competitive. And they kind of understand the idea of chance. So they know that when they lose, it's not because they did anything wrong. It's just chance. This game is completely chance. Level 2s are old enough to understand that once they've played the game a couple of times. We can reward them competitively. I might start with 2 magic stars to get them really excited in the game. So the first player to win that first activity, 2 magic stars. Woohoo! And obviously, we reward those stars through the teaching application. I'll go 2 magic stars, 1 magic star. I don't use 3 magic stars in every lesson. So I will delete these and save it. I use it about once, like once every other week. Kind of like to throw it in as a real surprise. I don't even use 2 magic stars in every game. Sometimes I'll skip it once in a while just to whatever. The most common prize is 1 magic star. Magic stars for all is also something I do not use in every game because the way I use this is I click, 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 and like bombard them with stars. So in my lessons, I don't use this very often. Again, it's just a special prize I throw in like once a month, once every 3 weeks, as something like, it's the pig, it's the year of the pig, magic stars for all. So because it's so special and it floods their computer with stars and sometimes freezes them up, be careful. So we'll delete it for this lesson. Take it out. Now we have activity 1, they will get 2 stars, whoever wins. Activity 2 will win 1 star. So activity 3, since this is a 3-word lesson, will be like right before the games. So I like to put a movement here. So let's go down and see which movement I'd like to have. Let's see. We had shake in the last lesson. Let's see, it's about a cat. So let's put pat rub because we pat cats on the head. And if we're brave, we rub them on the tummy. So pat rub. And let's duplicate the star and put that for activity 4. By the way, Coco the cat has only 5 activities. So that means you have to be very careful how you choose because I'm already I only have 1 more. There are only 5 activities. So I want another movement here. Let's find another movement for the final. I almost always put movement as the final. Let's have wiggle. The students really seem to enjoy wiggle. This is it. These are my 5 activities right here. Those are the 5 activities. Those are the 5 prizes. That's it. But we're not done yet. We want to make sure that the same student doesn't get all of these prizes. We can't have the same student getting, that's 4 extra stars for 1 student. So we want to break this up. We'll let the winner have the first 2 stars, but let's have the last player get the second star. And we'll have a student choose who gets this star. And we'll have the second player win the last wiggle. We'll let the winner win this one. So, okay, so now you'll notice that there are a lot more slides. There are 8 slides for 5 activities. Because see, once you add these loose turn, it screws up your count. That's why you always put in the actual prizes first. Because then you can just count, okay, I have 5 activities, 5 prizes. We won't be using lose turn to player 3 or give a magic star. Okay, so we know the game ends at wiggle. Wiggle is the last activity, the last prize. Now what we do is we go down here to our words and our title, and we grab them, select all, and drag them back to the top. Select the 4 word slides, duplicate. You now have 8. Grab 7 so that you're leaving 1 behind, and drag them below the prize. Grab all but 1. Remember, leave 1 behind. Slide past the prize. Leave 1 behind. Slide. Leave 1 behind. Drag. Drag below the prize. Now, when you're down to 4, duplicate. And then do it again. leave one behind, leave one behind, drag end, leave one behind, leave one behind. Okay, so now we're up to the wiggle here. So we can get rid of these, leave one behind. We now have 17 slides at the wiggle. You can just delete the rest from here down and leave it as is. I like to be prepared for any and all eventualities. So I will highlight wiggle and basically all of the entire game. Okay, from wiggle up and duplicate. I've now doubled the length of my game by repeating all of the prizes twice. But I will also get rid of the movements so that it's not obvious to the students that the game is being repeated. And I will slide in a couple of different moves. Let's slide in a cry. Let's put you here. And let's put some jumping jacks up here. Okay. Because you never know when you might need an extra slide or two on the game. You might want to play it again. I'll get rid of the title. What if a student does something really great and you want to reward them by letting them play the game? Or you're at a transition slide, the students seem a little distracted, so you want to kind of get them back into the lesson, engaged in the lesson. You might let everybody have a turn at the game. I've done this a few times. I don't do it all the time so that it's more special. But this way you have the extra slides in the game already ready for them to play. So now you know that wah wah is your last slide. You select everything else and you delete. You now have a 32 slide game. That might be a little more than you need for 5 activities, but it never hurts to be over prepared. One other thing you did by naming and saving this file under the lesson, you now have the game done. It's done. When your lower cohort moves up to level 2 and you teach this lesson again, the game's all done. You might want to go in and add a new movement that you really like or change something else, but most of the work is finished. You can just go open this look it up in Google Drive, do a search for Coco the cat, and your work is basically done. Okay. Next, I will show you how the game is played in a not a real lesson, obviously, but I'll show you how I play the game for my students. Here's a demo for level 2, Coco the cat. Now, level 2, I do competitively. Some of the students may not like it at first, but they catch on very quickly and they get used to it. I think it's good for them at about this stage to start to understand that they don't always win, but that doesn't mean that they aren't always good at what they're doing. So I think it's just a good lesson for them to be happy for their classmates, not just want to be first themselves. So I like about level 2, I make sure that there's competition. Let's go to the presentation. First off, open the Google Slides. Well, you open Google Chrome or Google. I'm not even using Chrome. In your tablet or cell phone, smartphone, or your computer or laptop or whatever if you're using Minicam. And you go to your Google account, open Google Drive, double click on the lesson, and here you are. Present. Dun, 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 dun. On a computer, it goes full screen, so I don't know how that works as far as Minicam. You'll have to adjust, prepare. I don't know if it's different on a Windows versus Mac. I use a Mac. It opens on the title page. This is convenient for me because I use a tablet. And when I'm preparing for my lessons, I can open it to the lesson, actually load the game and present it, and set my tablet down on my desk, face down. So my tablet is sitting there ready for me to pick up. By the time I get it up to the screen, I can tap this title page and the words will be ready. So student B just won the activity. They were first place. Remember the activity score, first, second, third, and so on. I only use this game usually for the activities. So I know who was first, second, third, or fourth, unless I'm using it as filler material, in which case I choose which student plays in which order. But for the activities, it says who was first, who was second, who was third, who was fourth, which makes it great for those slides that say lose turn to player 3, for example. You know who was third because the lesson tells you it's right there. Okay, so student B was first. Student B gets to pick a word. Student B says middle, middle, middle. 2 magic stars, woohoo! You give 2 stars to student B. The other students are like, oh no! Student B is, woohoo! This is where we're teaching competition. We want them to learn that it's okay not to be first, that the stars don't really matter that much, that the stars are just random chance. If the student had picked left, they might not have won 2 stars. See? So this is what we're teaching them. Level 2 is old enough, I feel, to understand that this game is chance. It's not based on, in any way, their abilities or their English level. It's completely random. Like on the next game, somebody else could win or it could get passed on to player 3, and you never know. The idea is for it to be random, chance, just fun and games. Meanwhile, they're still practicing saying the words and they don't even know they're learning. The second activity, student D wins. So student D gets to pick a word. He says right, right, right. Oh no, lose turn to last player. Ah! Last player was student A. Student A gets to play the game. Yay, A, yay. A says cat, cat, cat. A wins a magic star. Woo! See how it's completely chance? Student D was first on that game. So student D was the fastest and had the answer correct. Presumably. The first is not always correct, or at least the first time. But student A got the star. This is where you're teaching them that it's completely random and chance. So it's competitive, but not necessarily based on their individual English abilities. Okay, so the next student chooses, and we have some movement. See how every slide has a little bit of move and action to make them a little more interesting, a little more fun. So we do the pat rub, and then the next one, pass it on, another magic star, lose turn to player 2, and player 2 gets the wiggle. Now, on the stars, only the winner gets the stars. So student B was first in the activity. Student B said the word 3 times. Student B gets 2 stars. However, for the movement, student B won the activity. Student B played the game and said the word 3 times. Oh, there it is. But everybody does the movements. Everybody does the movements. I make this a class activity. So everybody wins, everybody does it. And I always make it like it's a prize, not like it's a uh-oh, gotta do jumping jacks. I don't do it that way. I do woohoo, jumping jacks, and everybody does jumping jacks. So that it's a prize where everybody wins the prize. I do that in the upper levels too. So the stars go to only the winner. The actions are a whole class action. Level 2, they'll still they'll still cry. So you can still get them to mimic crying. and where was the last prize? So that's how I would deliver the game, I suppose, present the game to the class. I have more for other levels, so check out the other tutorials.